So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel, man. Salute. So listen, I know y'all looking at the title like, yo, L, you do? No, it's February, March, around that time. You know, Black Friday ain't for a long time away, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know, I got you. Listen, man. You know what I mean? Some people plan their vacations at the beginning of the year. Some people plan other things at the beginning. Some people start their Christmas plan at the beginning of the year. A lot of people plan. Everybody ain't like us, me and you, all right? You know what I mean? I'm a right here type of person. Queen is a up here type of person. She trying to see several steps. I'm trying to get through what's in front of me right now. I can't think that far ahead. So some of us start trying to plan our Black Friday shopping the week of, right? The day of, the day before, you know what I mean? The hours before. And that ain't good, bro. We got to get better. But a lot of the main reason is, man, is safety, bro. We gotta step up safety, fam. All these stories, horror stories, like real life horror stories that you hear from these Black Fridays, got to stop, man. This is ridiculous. Nobody should be losing their life on Black Friday. Nobody should be getting injured on Black Friday. None of this stuff should be happening. This is shopping. But tempers flare, anger, people get angry, different situations. And you like, man, all of this over a shopping day? It ain't that serious, fam. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? You want me to tell you how Queen does Black Friday shopping? She wake up super early. She get up, get dressed like she going somewhere, but she don't go nowhere. She get up, get dressed like she going somewhere, make her side of the bed up, because I'm still over there knocked out, because I ain't getting up that early. You know what I mean? She make her side of the bed up. She go get her laptop, come back in the room, get back in the bed, probably have her some coffee or tea or something. She get in the bed, set up, and she go to work on my debit card or credit card. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I put it. She burned the strip off the back of that joint. But she get it done from the comfort of her own home. I know she's safe. I know she ain't out there in the crowd. I get nervous if she's out and amongst big crowds without me. You know what I mean? It's just getting to the point where it's not safe, fam, and I don't like that. So I'm comfortable with her doing it from the comfort of our own home. You know what I mean? And that's looking like where we may need to get to. But if you're a person that ain't never been out in it and don't know, here's the type of stuff you're gonna hear that's happening. All right. So if you're new to the channel, man, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Join the fam. All right. And once you do that, moment of silence for them haters. That's enough. Now run the likes up. Make sure you hit that like button. Here we go.
Number 9. Isidro Zarate. 39-year-old Isidro Zarate of San Antonio, Texas, took a trip to Walmart with his wife, Lisa Benavides, on November the 25th of 2016. It being Black Friday, the parking lot was filled to the brim with eager shoppers.
See, that's the first red flag for me, right? And this is how I think, fam. I'm always trying to be a step ahead of somebody who may be trying to get the drop on me. Fools to think they got the drop on you, so you got to stay a step ahead. When I see a parking lot full, like where I used to live at, the Walmart was here, and then it was a mall that kind of butted up close to it, was adjacent to it, right? So the Walmart parking lot would be so full that you would have to go park in the mall parking lot. So I'm like, no, ain't happening. Why I say it ain't happening? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you come out of there with a 70-inch, 50-inch TV, but now you got to push that cart all the way through that parking lot. That's leaving so many opportunities for somebody to get the drop on you. Ain't going down like that. No. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you got to start. It's sad, but you got to think like that these days.
Zarate dropped his wife off at the front of the store and proceeded to circle the lot while she was inside. As he awaited her return, he noticed a man attacking a woman. The assailant was later identified as 21-year-old Teles Mandan Juarez, who had grabbed his victim by the hair and was punching her repeatedly. It's unclear if there was any connection between them. Zarate pulled up in his vehicle and pleaded with him to stop. Juarez did let go of the woman, but only to reach for the firearm he was carrying. He fired multiple shots into Wright's direction, striking the Good Samaritan in the neck and killing him. A stray bullet also hit a bystander, though her injuries were not life-threatening. Juarez swiftly...
Fam had to lose his life to try to stop this dude from beating on him. You know what I mean? And he's a hero for that. And then at the same time, you got to say prayers and condolences to his family. You know what I mean? Because their loved one isn't coming home. All over some foolishness, man. Some dumb, it's like, stuff like that shouldn't have to happen. You should never have to receive that phone call from somebody that your loved one ain't coming on for something like this. Bro, that get me heated.
Fled the scene, but was eventually tracked down by San Antonio police. 10 miles from the Walmart, he was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Number 8, Nadia Ezeldine. On November the 28th of 2014, Nadia Ezeldine was working a shift at the Nordstrom store in the River North neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. On that day, Black Friday had coincided with Ezeldine's 22nd birthday. Her family had planned a surprise party for the young woman after she got off from work. Unfortunately, Ezeldine never made it home that night. She was shot by 31-year-old Marcus D., an ex-boyfriend who had been stalking her for several months. After shooting Ezeldine, he turned the weapon on himself. Ezeldine was transported to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, but ultimately...
Did y'all read that headline? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Nordstrom worker gunned down by her stalker ex-boyfriend on Black Friday. Here's the caveat. After she was denied a protection order to keep him away. Meaning she's been pleading with somebody, some agency, some to please help me get a protection order to keep me away from this person, and was denied and ultimately lost her life, bro. That's scary. That's sad. That shouldn't have happened.
But not himself. Ezeldine was transported to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, but ultimately succumbed to her gunshot wounds.
I calm myself down. Blood pressure already going up. I need to get one of, like, they make these Apple Watches, but they need to make them with, like, blood pressure. It might be on here. I don't know. But I need something to keep track of my blood pressure. Because this type of stuff that gets you heated, bro, get you hot, get you upset.
Nordstrom's was packed full of Black Friday shoppers who watched in horror as D carried out the killing and then ended his life. To add to the tragedy, the gun that D had used had been falsely reported stolen by Nina Downs, and then bought by D, who wasn't allowed to purchase a gun due to mental illness. Downs was prosecuted for disorderly conduct for filing a false police report, a Class 4 felony. Number 7, the Sacramento Mall shooting. On November the 27th of 2020, Black Friday shoppers at the Arden Fair Mall in Sacramento, California were startled by a sudden eruption of gunfire. Employees at the mall reported hearing roughly a dozen gunshots echoing through the establishment. At around 6 p.m., 2 brothers were killed in the shooting. Dwayne James Jr., aged 19, and Saquon Reed James, aged 17, were fired on by 18-year-old Demario Beck at a bank outside the mall following a verbal altercation.
At a bank outside the mall. Like, it's getting to the point where you can't even go to the mall. Remember as a kid, you used to always beg your parents, hey, can I go hang out at the mall? You want to go to the mall, to the arcade or whatever, go meet up with your friends. It's to the point where you can't do that now. Like, you get nervous when your loved ones go to the mall. Especially if it's around the time like Jordan release. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to be in there. Because people are shooting and firing off at people because in a line over some Jordans. Happened plenty of times here in Atlanta. And I'm like, man, you can't even go to the mall because people are shooting each other over Jordans. Something that he done re-released. Jordan don't even play no more. Shoes that he keeps re-releasing in different colors. And is that serious? Like, yeah, man. It's getting crazy out here.
Dwayne was dead by the time authorities arrived at the scene, while Saquon was transported to a nearby hospital, ultimately passing away hours later. As they heard the sound of gunfire, shoppers looking to take advantage of Black Friday deals started collectively fleeing for their lives. Large crowds of people flooded into the back rooms of various stores in an effort to hide from the shooter. Fortunately, no one else was injured that night. Within a week of the incident, Beck was charged with the murders of the two James brothers. Number 6. Patrick Henry Boyd. On November the 29th of 2013, Patrick Henry Boyd of Clover, South Carolina, took 4 of his friends on a Black Friday shopping excursion to Concord, North Carolina. The group set out in the early hours of Friday morning in an effort to avoid the massive Black Friday crowds. It was still quite early in the day when they finished up their shopping and got back out on the road to return home. Unfortunately, because he'd gotten little rest, Boyd ended up falling asleep behind the wheel of the Honda Accord that carried him and his 4 passengers.
And see, this is another issue that people have. You know what I mean? You got to get up crazy early. You got to be out there before the crowd, or try to make it before the crowd, or get in line. That's the thing that kills me too. The whole get in line process. You know what I mean? When they came out with was coming out with the PS5s and people were showing up to the GameStops the night before the release, camping out there. You know what I mean? Like, that to me, dangerous. Number 2, getting up super early. These Black Friday sales start real early. So you're going to bed after working all these long hours to try to get up super early to be there to get some gifts for your loved ones. Like, nobody needs that type of pressure, man. You shouldn't have to do that, bro.
The car drifted off the road and collided into a sign in front of a gas station. Boyd was killed on impact, while all 4 of his friends were subsequently taken to the hospital, with 2 of them having suffered serious injuries. One of the passengers later told police that Boyd had complained he was too tired to drive prior to losing control of the vehicle. Number 5. The Reno Walmart shooting. Black Friday shoppers arrived in huge numbers at a Walmart parking lot in Reno, Nevada, on November the 24th of 2016. There was an overflow of cars in the lot, which meant the number of available spaces was low and the tension between frustrated drivers was high. 33-year-old Matthew McGraw became enraged after another car cut him off to claim a parking.
I knew that's what they was about to say. I knew it. How many times we done all been there? You get ready to pull in and you see this parking spot you done eyed. It's closer to the door where you want to be. And as soon as you get ready to turn in, somebody shoot in and cut you off. And you lose your mind in that car and you ready to get out and do something, fam. Like, step back for a second and think about, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Think about it. You probably been telling yourself all week anyway, man, I need some exercise. Okay, it's okay. Park a little ways down and get your walk on, instead of doing something like whatever's about to happen here.
Spot. He got out of his vehicle and angrily confronted the other driver. What started out as a verbal argument rapidly devolved into physical violence, as McGraw proceeded to strike the driver with a metal baton, smashing his windshield and bruising his face. The driver then grabbed his firearm and shot McGraw through the window, killing him, believing his life to still be in danger.
Now, was any of that worth it? Any of that? Was any of that worth it? Somebody losing their life over that? Over a parking spot? Like, come on, G. Stop, man. Think about it like when you was a kid and somebody cut in front of you in a line and you was ready to square off and get into it with somebody. Now that you're older, you're thinking about that and you're like, wow, over somebody breaking in front of me in line, was it really that serious? Say the same thing about a parking spot, bro. It ain't that serious, fam. And I got a temper just as much as the next person. It ain't worth it. So I have to constantly remind myself, bro.
The driver fled the scene, though he fully cooperated with the authorities during the investigation that followed. The police determined that he'd acted in self-defense and they decided not to charge him. Number 4. Nisha and Shital Tandell. Arvin Tandell, a father of 4 from Palo Alto, California, was charged with 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter following a traffic accident that claimed the lives of 2 of his own children. 48-year-old Tandell, his wife, and his 4 daughters aged 12 to 24 were traveling in his Lexus SUV after a busy day of Black Friday shopping. On November the 23rd of 2012, the 4 siblings had been crammed into the back of the vehicle in order for the family's purchases to fit in the middle row. There were only 3 seats in the back, and 24-year-old Nisha and 20-year-old Shital weren't wearing their seatbelts. Tandell, who was driving, had only gotten 3 hours of sleep the previous night and started showing signs of fatigue He was drifting in and out of the painted highway lanes and gradually grew nearer to the right-hand shoulder. Meanwhile, a California...
See, this is why I think a lot of these cars need, like driving an 18-wheeler, we had this thing in the car, like, in the 18-wheeler, in the cab, that would make noise and alert you if you started swerving or getting close or getting outside the lane. And that noise is supposed to alert you to get yourself back in lane, right? These cars need that, number one. Number two, fam, everybody knows when that sleep jump on you, it ain't no joke. And we all do the same things when it jump on our back. What we do, we try to open the window, let that cool air hit you. You think that's gonna do it. That don't work. You try to pull over to a gas station, get some coffee. That don't work. You try to cut the radio up loud. That don't work. You try to cut the air on inside the vehicle, make noise, get on the phone. That, man, when it jump on you, fam, it jump on you. Take it from me. I used to drive trucks, bro. When that thing jump on you, it jump on you. And then no matter how much I tried to fight it, it wasn't getting off me, bro, until I got over and got some rest. And I used to tell myself, man, my life ain't more important than this. I was about to say my life ain't more important. This load isn't more important than my life. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Because, people be so hell-bent on getting it there on time. And I was an on-time person. I ain't like to be late. But if I had to choose between that and me getting some rest, I'm going to choose my rest, bro, because once it jump on you, it's on you.
California Highway Patrol officer sat in his cruiser, which was parked inside the shoulder. He'd been assisting a couple who were struggling with a flat tire. Tandale's SUV plowed into the rear of the police car and flipped over, rolling as many as 7 times before coming to a halt. Everyone involved in the collision was taken to the hospital with injuries. The police officer was about to exit his vehicle when the crash occurred. Had he done so, he would have undoubtedly been killed, but he instead suffered wounds that weren't deemed life-threatening. Nisha and Chital Tandale were both ejected from the SUV during the accident. The former was pronounced dead at the scene, while Chital passed away at the hospital. Arvind Tandale was charged following his daughter's deaths, but the Santa Clara County District Attorney chose not to seek jail time in the resulting court proceedings. Number 3. Walter Vance. A Target in Logan County, West Virginia, was overrun by Black Friday shoppers on November the 25th of 2011. As the customers stampeded through the store, 61-year-old Walter Vance was caught in the chaos and collapsed to the ground. He suffered from a heart condition and went into cardiac arrest amidst the pandemonium. Even as he lay helplessly on the floor, frantic shoppers largely ignored him. Some even stepped over the suffering man to continue shopping. There were nurses at the scene and they eventually came to Vance's aid.
Probably didn't even see him. Trampled over the man, didn't even pay attention to him. So tunnel vision, don't get into those electronics. They ain't think about nothing. They ain't even see the dude probably. That's crazy, man. It's not that serious, bro. And half the time, these sales, that you can catch them again.
Performing CPR until paramedics arrived. Unfortunately, Vance passed away at the hospital. It's unclear whether his chances of survival would have improved if someone had helped him sooner. Today's topic was requested by Instagram followers Latoya Avon Beauty Shop and Kashima Meow. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below, or follow us on Instagram and reach out to us there. Number 2. Jamaitai Demore. Just before 5 a.m. on Black Friday 2008, a Walmart in Long Island, New York, prepared to open its doors to the public. Before doing so, however, store employees formed a human barricade just inside the entrance.
See right there, I feel like if something like that should set up or form outside of Walmart, Walmart needs to be like, nah, fam, we need better order. Want to know what they did one year? I don't even know why they don't do that anymore. In order for them to stop stuff like this, they would make you come in, you come to the department, you tell them what you want. They let so many people at a time. Then you have to come see if what you want is available. If so, you get a ticket. Then you go outside and they have like these containers out there, and we were in those containers. You have to come to us, present your ticket. Like, they were creating order to stop this chaos. Order has to be created. If you just open the doors and let people run wild, man, what are you gonna get? You gotta create some kind of order. I feel like if you see this outside happening, you gotta be like, whoa, nah, we ain't gonna open the door, because this could be, bro, this you can already tell something about to go bad right here. Just looking at this.
To preemptively slow down the flow of shoppers waiting on the sidewalk outside. There were roughly 2,000 people in total awaiting Walmart's opening. Once the doors were finally unlocked, the mass of customers.
Look at that. Look at that. Savaging through that stuff right there, man. Savaging through that. And I've seen it up close and personal, fam, and it's scary, bro.
Spilled into the store, trampling over the helpless employees, fruitlessly trying to slow them down. Among the workers knocked to the ground was 34-year-old Jamaitai Damore, who gasped for air as the reckless mob continued to crush him. Many of his co-workers attempted to come to his aid, but they had to fight off a seemingly endless influx of shoppers to get to him. Paramedics were called to the scene, but even first responders found it difficult to perform CPR on Damore without getting stepped on and knocked about by the crowd of people. Even after Damore had passed away on the floor of the Walmart, shoppers continued their frenzied search for discounted items. The entrance doors to the store were ripped from their hinges during the rampage.
We should never hear about a stampede in a store, a Walmart. We should never hear about a stampede. That's crazy.
4 other people were injured, including a woman who was 8 months pregnant. Police struggled to find any individual they could hold criminally accountable after examining the store's surveillance tapes. Walmart itself was fined a mere $7,000 for failing to provide the store with adequate security measures.
7? That was like change, wasn't it? That was like change.
In the early hours of November the 28th of 2014, the assistant manager of an American Eagle store in Fort Worth, Texas, went home after working an overnight Black Friday shift. It was roughly 3 a.m. when Ashley Harris got back to her apartment, and a friend of hers stopped by for a brief visit. The meetup marked the last time Harris was ever seen alive. Soon after her friend's departure, the 31-year-old store manager was accosted by 2 former employees of hers, 25-year-old Carter Cervantes and her boyfriend, Clarence Mallory, age 19. Both Cervantes and Mallory had previously been fired from Harris's American Eagle location after being suspected of stealing $18,000 from the store's safe.
Dang.
The 2 assailants came to Harris's apartment and proceeded to beat her. They bound her hands and feet, then set her body and the house on fire. They took her store keys with the intention of breaking in and stealing the Black Friday profits, which were projected to have been around.
And they mad at her for what? She was doing her job. Y'all the ones that did wrong. So y'all had to take it further than that?
$50,000. Firefighters responded to a fire alarm arrived at Harris's apartment hours after the attack and discovered her body. Cervantes and Mallory were later arrested and charged with capital murder. During their trials, Harris's neighbor testified to hearing screams and crashes coming from her apartment that night. He saw a black Infiniti G35, which was later identified as Cervantes' car, driving away from the scene after the door to Harris's apartment had been slammed shut. The 2 disgruntled former employees were also caught on the American Eagle surveillance CCTV cameras trying to unlock the doors to the store at 2 a.m. the following morning. After it was discovered that Harris's keys had been taken from her apartment, the store changed its locks, so Cervantes and Mallory were unsuccessful in their attempts to gain access to the safe. Both of them were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thanks for watching.
That's sad, bro. That, like I said, y'all was stealing. You know what I mean? She did what, she basically handed out an action, a reaction to your action. You know what I mean? You did this, she had to do this. And then y'all took it further than that. She should not have to, man, this is crazy. Like, this stuff is crazy, man. Y'all be safe, bro. If you ain't gotta go out there and be involved in them crowds and stuff like that, don't, man. Do your shopping from home. And then, you know what I mean? Just make sure you ain't got no package thieves out there at your door. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. It's straight up crazy, man, when you think about it, man. Y'all be safe, all right? Can't stress that enough. Be safe. It's your boy L, man. When Black Friday goes wrong, stick around and stay tuned, man. Until the next one, I'm gone. Peace.